Welcome back, everyone, to the 39 Days podcast with Alex and Andrew. I'm Andrew. There's
I'm
Alex. And guys, we are so excited to have you back to finally be able to record again. We're sitting here the night before the premiere of season 42 of Survivor. It's finally here. It's been a long, cold winter or warm, depending on where you live. I don't know. It's cold where we live, but we're so excited to be back here. And we're just going to do a quick preview show tonight, go through the 18 castaways. We're going to do something. We're going to throw out some new things that we can hopefully get our listeners engaged in on the podcast this year. But Alex, what's going on, man?
Not much. I'm very excited for tomorrow, and especially to pick our winners. Just talk about like the people that we have so far because we know nothing. Like I said to you before, and we so far know only the little previews that Survivors put out on Instagram and stuff. So it's very interesting to just kind of go back and see everyone again. And I'm very excited to unleash our predictions for the winners just because I would like redemption for you correctly picking Erica winning last season.
Look, I'm not going to go ahead and take any credit for that. I think we both know it was just a shot in the dark. And I'm happy to wear the crown this season until I'm dethroned. But it's certainly the kind of the nature of what we do here, right? There's a ton of information available on the internet. There's articles written about the contestants. I'm sure they do podcasts and interviews with other people before the show airs. Obviously, when they come back, you can find the people on social media and kind of stalk them and get an idea of who they are and and we don't do any of that, right? Survivor's official Instagram account posts a little 30-second clip of each person. They introduce themselves. They say how they're going to play. We watch the video for each of the 18 castaways, and that's all we know about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't do any previous research at all. So everything we're going to say here is just us talking. This is not any like research at all. We didn't go ham to trying to dive into what we thought everyone would do. This was literally us watching the Instagram videos they put out, sending them to each other in our DMs and going, yeah, I think this person's going to end up 7th. This one's out before the merge. And, honestly, we're going to be completely wrong. And I'm excited for it.
Everything. Like we could even post our DMs when we're done here, just as a receipt of how we just mischaracterized all of these people.
Oh, we totally should.
I'm hoping at least some of them are right. Like, I think there's one person in particular where I remember you explicitly saying, like, they're a really good speaker, but I think they're going to talk too much and annoy people and they're going to get voted out. Like, I kind of hope something like that is right, just so we can at least say we kind of had a feel for these people. Of course, the more we're wrong, the more it kind of invalidates my pick of Erica last year and just shows how it was just complete shot in the dark.
But maybe you'll just pick the winner again and be a professional. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? That's actually one thing that Jeff did say in one of his Instagram posts. Like, do you always pick the sole survivor? Do you always know who's going to get voted out? What's going on? And that's actually one thing that we're going to do this year, because in that video, he later teases the Survivor Fantasy League, which I think they started for season 41. We didn't do it last year, but I do want to get engaged with this year. We'll be sure to drop our group information in the information below, and obviously want to get some engagement from all of our listeners this year. But for sure, at least you and I will have a little healthy competition this year.
Oh yeah, it's in a more like organized competition instead of just us picking 2 people and going, yeah, they made it past this week. Woo!
Right,
but
because that's basically all we had.
Do you want to get into the one thing that we decided we were going to do that isn't organized? Because we're doing the fantasy draft. We're going to pick who our winners are, but we're also going to do our own version of fantasy where we basically pick 9 players. There's 18 players in this season. We're each going to have 9, and basically whoever gets the players that last the longest wins.
Yeah, so we're going to do the schoolyard pick style. I think because I won last season by picking Erica, I'll give you first pick.
I was going to say you should deserve it.
No.
All right.
It's usually like that's how. What are those games you play, like loser? Even if you're just playing like schoolyard basketball, right? Like whoever, if you're playing on one net, whoever scores, the other team gets the ball. You don't play winners, like they call it. No, I'm not gonna. go ahead and say, well, I won, so I get first pick of the litter. I'll give you a chance of redemption. Again, we're still going to
Okay.
pick 9 people each, so
Okay.
uh,
Now
we'll
these,
have to obviously come up with a system to track our picks while we're
yeah,
live here because I don't have a pen and paper in front of me.
I have an
So
Excel spreadsheet open on my other
okay,
monitor,
all
and
right,
I'm just going to
perfect.
mark off who chose who. So we'll be
Okay,
good.
and then
But
at the end when we're done here, we do still want to make one pick. Again, shot in the dark.
yeah, and
We're gonna have like a
it might not exactly be someone we have on our team. We're just trying to
right.
pick.
Like I
We're
have one person in mind in particular who I'm just going to say I think this person's going to win, and if you draft them
I
like
do
first
too.
overall,
Yeah.
then like whatever, I'm
Hmm.
okay with that. But we'll pick our teams. We'll do a quick recap. We're not going to go on too long tonight, and then we'll pick our one single
Our
pick
one
at the
single
end of the
winner.
episode. But of course, throughout the course of the season, we're going to be following based on our team.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
going to be a
I
lot
guess
more
without
like.
further ado,
All right. With the first pick in the Survivor 42 fantasy draft, I am going to pick Romeo.
okay.
Yeah. I
Is
think
there any? Yeah, I was gonna say, are we gonna do like a little bio
I
on them, or
do not remember a lot about his video, but I remember he was one. He was a very good speaker, and he really kind of gave me the idea that he's going to be one to kind of build alliances and just last long. He might not be completely in charge of everything, but he'll be more of like a Xander from last season type and just kind of coast along a little bit, if that makes sense.
yeah? So I actually had to
I'm
go
going
ahead
for
and
I'm going for durability here.
I couldn't put the face to the name. Romeo is the tall, skinny guy who
Hmm.
says he works as a coach for beauty pageant contestants,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good pick. I definitely had him circled, but first overall pick, Romeo. Okay. I'm going to make my first overall selection. I'm going to go with Swati. It's spelled Swati. I think in the video she pronounced
Okay.
it Swati. Super young. She's 19 years old, but she's um, a service member. Now I believe she said she's in Yale Law School. She seems super composed for 19 years old, and I really loved her attitude. So that's where I'm going with my first overall pick.
All right. All right. I like that. All right. My second pick, the third overall pick, I'm gonna go with Mike. Solely because
Jersey Mike.
he's I believe he was the firefighter, and he really reminds me of Mike Holloway. So I think if he makes it long into this game, it's gonna be because he's basically going out of his way and winning everything and staying in the game through his own accord instead of, alliances and stuff. So that's my mindset with him.
All right. So you took one of the Jersey contestants. And for those of you who don't know, I live in New Jersey. So before I get swept out of my own state, I'm just going to go ahead and swoop up Danielle with my second pick. Excuse me, not Danielle. Her name is Lindsay. Cut this out.
Yeah, that's the same name. All right.
So with my second overall pick, I'm going to pick Lindsay, who's a dietitian from Asbury Park, New Jersey. She had, again, really fun attitude in her video. I remember she was saying specifically that I think she said she played tackle football when she was a young kid, and she's got like a little bit of a tomboy energy in her. Typically really strong and fit and personable women are viewed as targets. And so maybe I'm going out on a limb here and she's going to come across really strong and get taken out early, but I like my chances. I got to get one Jersey person in. So Lindsay's my second pick.
All right. I love your mentality of, I got to pick someone from New Jersey here. And also she's kind of cool. All right. So for my third pick, I'm going to go with High. He's another one who I think is going to be very social. And because of that, I think he's going to at least be able to make alliances that'll make him stick around a long time. Even if I can't imagine him making it far, but I think he'll be taken out, like after the merge, like final 7, 8, because of the fact that he's a threat. So that could be completely overanalyzing. He could get voted out tomorrow, but that's what I'm going with.
Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, I had High Circle as my next pick. So
Did you really?
yeah, and that's going to be the nature of this game. But I'm okay with that. I'm going to take Mariah as my third pick.
Okay.
Mariah is currently a stay-at-home mom. I believe she said she's a certified teacher, but she's just not working right now. I got a lot of Tiffany energy from her, but I
Yeah.
feel like Tiffany at times, from season 41, could be a little neurotic, a little crazy. She had that New York energy, and I think Mariah is a little more composed, and I think she's actually going to play that like motherly figure, but also in a more effective kind of quiet, deadly
Yeah.
type energy. So that's where I'm going to go.
I
Number
think
three,
that's
Mariah.
honestly, I think that's a good pick. All right, so six in the seventh pick for my fourth. I'm gonna go with Roxroy because he was the one. He's a stay-at-home dad, and I think I believe he was the one who said he wanted to be like a hard worker and provide for everyone. And I think he's just gonna be really likable, and because that people are gonna keep him around a while because he's gonna kind of be like the Nasir from last season where he was very helpful and because that they kept him around and then was voted out because of how likable he was. So that's my mindset at least.
I kind of feel like Mike is a similar personality. So you're
Yeah.
loading up on one attribute right now.
I'm likability to me. If you're identified as really likable, you can get far, but you won't win. And if we're doing this solely based on longevity in the game, I think I gotta go with who I think is gonna make it further, even if they're not gonna win.
Well, I think a good analogy to that type of personality from season 41 would be Danny. Danny just didn't make any enemies the whole game, and
Yeah.
The fact that he's a former NFL athlete didn't even come into play. It wasn't like they were targeting because of that, and I don't think we ever considered him as a threat to win, but he made it as far as he did because he was just so likable.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. All right. My fourth pick, I'm going to go with Daniel. And I remember specifically he said in his intro video that like he doesn't think he has what it takes to be the sole survivor. So I'm just going to just play the opposites game here. And because he says that, I almost like that. It's like a sign of humility. Daniel's his job title is listed as a law clerk. I think he said he's certified as a lawyer anyway, but he's currently working in a law office. So super smart guy. He seemed to have like a awkward, nervous energy about him that I don't think will rub people the wrong way. I think he can make friends that way. I think people will trust him. So I like Daniel as my fourth pick.
All right. So we're about halfway through now. And honestly, I'm getting to the point where because they've released the videos for these people a while ago, for at least some of them, I don't know that many like defining characteristics about the majority of the people that are left, except for who's going to be my fifth pick is Jonathan. Because I remember him saying he thinks he can definitely be the sole survivor. He's going to work really hard. He wants to be very physical. And anyone who identifies as a physical threat is probably going to either have a big target on them to perform as a physical threat, or they'll be safe because they're identified as, okay, we need to keep them around to help the tribe because they're a physical threat. So I'm saying he's a little bit of a gamble, but that's what I'm going with.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I remember when he was like the second or third person who had a bio drop, and right away you said he's either going to be like first or second voted out or final three, and there's no in between. And I could totally see that. But of course, he could also be sixth out just because we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Exactly.
All right. For me, my next pick, I'm going to go with Drea.
Okay.
So Drea is a former athlete. I believe she even said she's like partially blind and was told not to run hurdles in high school, and she did. And she became like all state or all American or something. and now she owns a business. She actually moved out to Montreal, I believe. It's in the video. She just comes across as a grinder. She seemed like she had a really soft personality, good smile that can charm people, but she's a hard worker. So I feel confident in that, and getting her in the 5th round, I feel like there's good value there.
All right, fair enough. All right, for my 6th pick? Jeez, we're making good progress here. All right, I'm gonna go with Omar. He has like the personality of a very likable person. I don't know how much he's going to provide in terms of like the survivor aspect of the game, but I think he could be the type that sticks around just because nobody kind of views him as a threat. So, well, we'll give him a shot.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's at the point where we're starting to take some dart throws, right? And I'm actually surprised that who I'm going to take here with my 6th pick, you allowed to fall this far. Either, again, just you forgot that that you liked them so much when we first talked, or maybe you've kind of just changed based on reading other ones. I'm going to take Jackson.
Yeah, I did forget about him, if I'm being honest. And now I'm kind of annoyed that you just took him.
Yeah, and I'd have to go back to. Yeah, I'd have to go back to our DMs to see exactly. But I remember we had a lengthy conversation based on what he said in the video and what we thought about him, and I think we both had good vibes that he'd play a strong game. So I'm getting him this deep in the draft. I'm taking that.
I'm a little annoyed now that you got him this low. All right, so my next one, I'm gonna go with Zach. He's a young guy. He's only 22. But I do kind of get Adam Klein vibes from him. And maybe that's
okay. I kind of got Gavin vibes from him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, in that case, I guess, winner and runner up. I guess that's a good sign.
It's good company to be in, yeah.
Yeah. So that's who I'm going to go with.
Okay. Jeez, who's left? You let me get Jenny. That's who I'm taking my 7th overall pick.
Okay.
I really do like Jenny. I actually just watched her video earlier today. She said her mother immigrated here. She called her the original Tiger Mom, I believe was the quote she used. And she said she grew up in an environment where if she came home with a 98 on her test, her mother would be like, "Where's those last 2 points?" So she was kind of trained to be a perfectionist from a young age. And while I could see that going sideways in this game potentially, I also think if she uses it the right way, she didn't seem like she had strong of a personality that would rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how she ingratiate herself into whatever tribe she's on and what kind of game she's going to play. It doesn't seem like a big physical threat. She even said that herself, but I'll take Jenny.
Okay. All right. For my, I think this is 8th. I'm going to go with Tori because she's a therapist, and I remember in her video said that she's very good at like reading people. So I would think that kind of will come in handy. It may completely backfire in her face, but being able to read people in a proper way, I think, is something that obviously is very helpful in the game. So that's what I'm going with.
Okay. I was actually, I was on mute, so my face didn't pop up, but I kind of did a little like quiet screen myself because I was going to take her as well. So it's the second time you've sniped me. So I'm looking.
This is your fault. You let me go first.
Yeah, but I'm looking through who we've forgotten, and Marianne slipped through. So I'm going to scoop her up, and this is our 8th pick.
Yeah.
Is this 8? So
this is 8. So there's almost the 2 left are Lydia and Chanel.
Okay, so I'm going to take Marianne. Marianne had, again, she's young. First, I think she said first generation immigrant. And when she was quoting her mother, she had a thick accent, and Marianne herself has no accent at all. But it was just funny. She said she was coming from another very loving family, but she felt like she was challenged, and she has a great smile. And I know there's one clip of her either like screaming or like crying or something. It's like a quick thing in one of the trailers, and I have no idea how far into the game that is. So I'm leery of that one moment, even though it could just be like she made the loved one visit. Who the hell knows, right? But
You'd be hopeful.
I'll take Marianne eighth pick.
All right. So now the two we have left are Chanel and Lydia. And I'm going to be completely honest, I do not remember Chanel's video at all, but I do remember Lydia's. And Lydia was one who I think we both recognized as someone who might come out. She was so excited to be playing in her video that she might come out too strong.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I'm going to let you have her, and I'm going to take Chanel.
Yeah. So with Lydia, I think we both kind of compared her a little bit to JD in that she's a big fan, but she's probably going to come with a little too much energy. But like, how funny would it be if she's the last pick in the draft and ends up making like the final four, final five?
Oh my God, yeah.
But I don't know if in this moment, knowing nothing about them and comparing her in the little bit of information we have compared to everyone else, that I see her making it that far, unless she's deemed a GOAT kind of thing and dragged along. But of course, as soon as these people hit our television sets tomorrow night or later today when you're listening to this, she could be completely different than
exactly
20 seconds clip we got. So yeah, those are our teams. We'll be sure to track them over the course of the entire season. We'll talk about each elimination, who lost someone on their team. Hopefully we have a fair split of people as we get to the merge and get towards the end. And it's not like my team gets cleaned out and Alex still has his entire draft left. Then what's the fun in that?
That'd be hysterical. But
yeah. But with that being said, did you want to? Who was your one pick? Who you thought of all people
was going to win
before we did this draft? Who you were going to pick to win?
All right, my pick to win is Lindsay. So, pretty much for the exact same reasons that you have picked her. She's very smart. She's very energetic. She's very self-aware, but to the extent that I think she is going to know who to kind of go to. She's going to have a very good sense of who's after her, who's not, she gave off a lot of very good survivor senses, which I hope that makes sense. It made sense when I said it. But yeah, I really think that she's going to have if anyone on this season who I could pick that would go far, it'd be her. That wording was terrible, but I got my point across.
Yeah, I think you're fine there. I'm just going to kind of mirror what you said about someone who I'm picking, and it's high.
Really?
I was surprised. I was very tempted to take him with one of my first two picks. I didn't want to kind of sell out because if I'm doubling down on him here and he was one of my first two picks and he goes out early, then I'm kind of burned on both ends. I waited a little too long. You scooped him up, but he comes across as someone who's just very calculated, very smart. I think he's a data scientist. So similar to like Xander from last season, just like a really smart numbers background and constantly running stats and analysis in the back of their head. And also I feel like he could be decent in challenges. He didn't seem like he was like too frail or anything like that. My one concern with someone like that is that how is his social game going to be? And it could be awesome, right? If he comes out and he plays a great social game, I think he's an immediate top tier threat, but I could see that tripping him up. But when we saw the preview after the season 41 finale, I saw him on one of the boats. I'm like, that guy. We didn't even know people's names at that point. And I remember in December, I had to pick one face right in that moment. And when we found out everyone's name, it ended up being Hai, who I had seen. And so I'm all in.
So you're basing your guess on a gut feeling from the preview after the 41 finale.
Hey, look, it worked to pick Erica, right?
So, I'm not making fun of you. I respect it, honestly. But all right, we have our teams, we have our picks, and honestly, I'm excited because it's
going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. We have more riding on this season now because now we have a lot more. going on. There's a
Isn't
lot.
that better than us just sitting here talking about like, oh, I hate the way the season is edited, the production of it. They're doing this like now it's just competition. Now it's just me versus you.
Which, we may not know this. Anyone watching may not know this, but me and Andrew are kind of competitive people.
Oh, who us? No.
So, yeah, this is going to be fun, and I can't wait for the majority of the season to play out.
Yep. It's going to be awesome. So we got the premiere Wednesday night, 8 p.m., a 2-hour premiere. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully they bring back Game Within the Game. The website seemed to be down right now, but I don't know if it's just because there's no season going on or if they kind of trialed it and they didn't like it. They're not going to put in the effort again this year. But I really do hope they bring that back because that was another thing we could talk about and another fun play along at home. But we got our fantasy teams. We got our draft teams. We got our single picks. We got a lot riding on this season. And it all starts Wednesday night. So let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back either Wednesday night, Thursday night, one of the nights in the future after we've watched the episode. And for now, we'll see everyone then.